The Soul series have some of the most cherished games for me anyway. Really, out of all the games I've played, I mean, just the aspect of just getting knocked down after knockdown to just try go again, go again, go again, try to change your style or change the approach, if you will, to a fight, and then try again. It really just is a great example of real life, and I think that's kind of why those games are just so satisfying to play. And and plus, it's just a complete package whenever you get the game. And whenever you start the game, you're just pretty much like already in. There's no like tutorial or anything. They just kind of have like a quick little intro, if you will, and then you're in, and they're like, have at it. And I just really respect what they do with all of their games, really. Obviously, they're not all perfect. Really mentioning Dark Souls 2 here because, yeesh, yeah, that one. That one needs some work. But other than that, they're just all great games. But recently, Hidetaka Miyazaki, the director of those games, had another interview where he kind of basically said that even with Elden Ring, even with the massive success that it wasn't exactly what he. It's not his ideal game. And you think that, man, after a game like that comes out that everybody just loves, I mean, you see all the people that have been live streaming it recently just in anticipation of the DLC that comes out next week. It's just insane the amount of hype the game still holds, even just in anticipation of the DLC. And even with all of that, he's still saying what it's not what he's looking for still. There's still something more he's trying to do. And I really respect that approach, and I really do believe that's what the gaming industry just needs. And not even gaming, I mean, just any entertainment or anything, period, any product you're trying to service, is just trying to make something that you yourself will enjoy and other people can find value in. And I think that's really where the gaming industry has just kind of lost its way. This article says, despite Elden Ring's triumphs, director Hidetaka Miyazaki still hasn't made his ideal fantasy RPG. So how much better can FromSoftware games get? Elden Ring is not quite it. Yeah, it's just crazy to me because, I mean, anybody who's played Elden Ring knows. I mean, it's just like head and shoulders above pretty much any game on the market nowadays. And you pay for it once. I mean, besides the DLC, of course, which is like a completely, almost an entire another game they're adding in. But you pay for it once, and you get the game. There's no microtransactions. There's no additional purchases you have to make, and it is just a journey that you can go through multiple times with different playstyles and everything. It's just a complete package, which yeah, I mean, most games recently just have not had that period, which is kind of sad, but well, this is 2024 now. Since From Software's Hidetaka Miyazaki has said he still hasn't created his ideal fantasy RPG, despite putting out groundbreaking future classics over and over, which begs the question, how much better can these games get? Hidetaka Miyazaki is one of gaming's most recognizable names for a reason. From Software practically kickstarted an entire subgenre with Miyazaki in the director's chair for Demon's Souls, plural, Dark Souls, Bloodborne, Sekiro, and most recently the studio's magnum opus, Elden Ring. Clearly, it's not the magnum opus because he says that's not the best they can do. One hell of a resume. I mean, that's why I think that's what I respect about him and the team there at From Software is that their approach is really trying to create a game that they themselves would want to play. Whereas in a lot of the game companies and developers nowadays are just so focused on making something that will make them just like be a cash cow, really. Just any way they can do to just make money, make money, make money, which is okay. But really, you can see what the success that From Software has. They have this success they do because they are just so focused on creating a game they themselves will enjoy, and then in turn creating something that other people will enjoy. And there's just something to be said about that tenacity to just keep trying to make things better, try new things within their games. I mean, that's Elden Ring was like an open world Dark Souls. I mean, before it came out, people were like, "How in the world is that gonna work?" I mean, the open world wasn't like the greatest thing in Elden Ring. I mean, and sometimes it's kind of stale, to be honest. But I mean, it still worked. I mean, it was just a great game all the way around. And I really just want these other game developers. I mean, clearly, this is one video or even 1,000 videos. I mean, they don't care at the end of the day. I just really wish there would just be more developers out there that would just realize just the heart and the passion that they pour into this game. I mean, it's the same thing with Larian Studios and Baldur's Gate 3. I mean, look, they almost went into bankruptcy. I mean, they were just really close to having to shut down just because of the amount of cash they were having to spend to try to make this game over, I think it was like 7 or 8 years or something like that. And I mean, it just goes to show like the passion they poured into it, and then they reaped abundantly. And I don't understand why developers are like trying to reinvent the wheel, like it's some mystery as to why Elden Ring and Baldur's Gate sold so well and are still doing so well. It's because it's just fundamentally a great game that people find value in. They don't have to keep spending money to play the game, and they can return to it in a year and play it again. I mean, obviously you can't recapture the first playthrough euphoria, but there's always joy in multiple playthroughs with different builds and everything. And it's like, if developers could just really grasp hold of that, just trying to make a game that they themselves would enjoy, I mean, we really would just find more games that are actually solid. I mean, just, but maybe, what do I know? I'm just a guy on the internet. Maybe I just don't know all that much. But yeah, I just really wanted to make a quick video on that. I just love that even with Elden Ring, like people call it their magnum opus, even Miyazaki himself is like, it's just not it. I know we can do better. I know we can create something even better. And I really respect that approach. I mean, that's really an approach you should have in really all aspects of life. It's just that tenacity to just keep going at it and just trying to implement new things that you find, and maybe sometimes you'll fail, Dark Souls 2, and maybe sometimes you'll succeed, Bloodborne. And it's just like you just keep at it, trying to just implement and just build on top of what you've already created. Because, man, just a sucker for any game that just is a Souls-like game. Even like the No Rest for the Wicked. It's a game like, it's Dark Souls because it kind of has a role, but it is also the isometric kind of view, if you will. I mean, not really, but I can't really remember what they call that perspective. It's not really third person, but it's a mixture between third person and isometric. But even a game like that, I just enjoy because it's just the trial and error of it. It's like you fail, well, okay, that didn't work, so let's try something else. And that's really what I just really respect about these games, and I just wish other developers would just see the passion that they have to try and make something that they themselves will enjoy and try and build on that and not just release the same thing 10 years in a row, Call of Duty. I just but anyway, that was my spiel, I guess, for the day. Let me know what you guys think about Elden Ring down in the comments, and if you're excited for the DLC, because I mean, it's coming out in less than a week now, and I am stoked, if you couldn't tell by this video. But anyway, if you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like, and I hope to see you guys around. Peace.